In a word from the Ministry of External Affairs briefing on the Emir of Qatar's visit to India, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi has thanked the Emir of Qatar for taking care of the Indian community during COVID-19 pandemic, and also his investment in India, and also that Invest Qatar policy that has been signed, and memorandum of understanding that has been signed between India and Qatar, and CII and also the Qatar Business Council have signed an agreement. And both the leaders have also talked about regional and international issues of mutual interest, and also Israel and Hamas were discussed by both sides and they shared their views. Also, 38 Qatari entities have participated in delegation level talks, and 600 Indians in Qatar jail. Out of that, about 85 so far have been pardoned. And all of this was part of the discussion between Prime Minister and the Emir of Qatar.
Briefing on the ongoing state visit of His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad al-Thani, the Emir of the State of Qatar, to India. His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad al-Thani, the Emir of the State of Qatar, is on a state visit to India on 17th and 18th February at the invitation of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi. He arrived in New Delhi yesterday evening. As you are all aware, Honorable Prime Minister made a special gesture to receive His Highness at the airport. This shows not only the strength of the relations between the two countries, but also the high personal regard that both the leaders have for each other. This is the second visit of His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad al-Thani to India as Emir of the State of Qatar. He last visited India in March 2015. You may recall that Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi paid his second visit to Qatar in February 2024. He had invited His Highness the Emir to pay a state visit to India at that time. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has held multiple meetings with Qatar's Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs, including on 1st January 2025 in Doha. His Highness the Emir of Qatar is accompanied by a high-level delegation comprising ministers, senior officials, and business leaders. The dignitaries who are accompanying His Highness include Qatar's Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman al-Thani, as well as the Ministers of Commerce and Industry, Energy, Electronics and Information Technology, Labour, and the Minister of State for Foreign Trade. The CEOs of several top Qatari entities such as Qatar Investment Authority and Qatar Tourism are also part of the delegation. Coming to the program, this morning His Highness the Emir was received by the Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, and Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi at the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where the Emir was accorded a ceremonial welcome.
Let me take this across to my colleague Akanksha Swaroop, who's now with us on the broadcast. Akanksha, what is the high point of the discussions between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Emir of Qatar? We are talking about how the prisoners are going to be released, but about the business level dealings that we will be taking back from this high profile engagement. What are the key points and key aspects that have come out of this?
You know, Griha, the timing of this meeting and the bilateral talks between the Indian Prime Minister and the Emir of Qatar is very significant. Remember, it's just been barely less than a week that Prime Minister has returned from that US visit. And today, in fact, all of us have woken up to a renewed threat of tariffs coming in from the US President. So for India at the moment, it is very important to diversify its energy needs, its needs in terms of trade, investment and technology. Much of it is currently, in fact, being paved forward as far as the path to that is concerned with Washington. But we are going to diversify our needs. And having said that, we already have Qatar as one of our largest energy partners. A majority of our LNG needs are met by Qatar. So yes, there have been MoUs. In fact, let me also take you through the kind of MoUs that have been, shared between Qatar and India today. It is with regards to the establishment of strategic partnership between the government of the Republic of India and government of the state of Qatar. There has been a revised agreement for avoidance of double taxation and prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to taxes on income between the government of Republic of India and government of the state of Qatar. So you can see there's a similar trajectory that's being followed in terms of taxation, something that perhaps we've learned our lesson from the United States. And so I think when you look at this agreement for avoidance of double taxation, what is important to highlight is that this will also lead to greater transparency between both the countries and our bilateral trade, which, as I said, happens to be quite a bit as far as our own exports are concerned. A lot of merchandise, cereals, vegetables, aluminium, steel, all of that, in fact, is exported to Qatar. So that is the kind of bilateral trade we are looking at. But if you talk about it from the security point of view, Griha, important to also talk about how the Emir of Qatar had also pardoned those 8 Navy veterans who were incarcerated in Qatar. And in fact, one of them happens to stay on. So I'm sure the Indian government would also be pushing for his return. At the same time, Prime Minister has also thanked for the welfare of Indian citizens. As we all know, one of the largest expatriate communities in Qatar happens to be that of Indians. We have a massive diaspora. And as far as security-related concerns are they are up for discussion. 600 Indians are currently still in Qatar's jail. 85 of them have been pardoned. The Indian External Affairs Ministry has been talking about how they are pursuing these cases. At the same time, if you remember, roughly a year ago, there was this entire controversy surrounding how the copies of Guru Granth Sahib had been confiscated. The Qatari authorities had, in fact, last year in August, confiscated 2 swarups of the Guru Granth Sahib in December 2023, in fact, and that issue of the seizure of the 2 copies of the Guru Granth Sahib with authorities in Qatar was also being taken up in the Indian embassy in Doha. And so now today we've heard the Qatari ambassador go on to talk about how no Guru Granth Sahib currently remains in the custody of Qatari authorities. And I think the fact that our Prime Minister went to receive the Qatari Emir, Sheikh al-Thani, at the airport when he landed goes on to underscore the importance of this relationship.
Right, Kanksha, thank you so much for giving us and providing us those inputs there from that big conversation between Prime Minister Modi and the Emir of Qatar.